करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लाङ्घायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम् नमयों विष्णुपादाय श्रीगौरप्रियमूर्तये श्रीमते भक्तिवल्लभतीर्थगोस्वामिनामिने कृपया क्षमतामपराधिजनं कलुषायुतशक्तसुदीननरं सुपथे परिचालय सर्वदिनं प्रणमामि च माधवदेवपदम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Hare Krishna, Hari Bol. So we are meeting after almost 12 days or more. One yuga. Yes, yuga itam nimishena. So I had been to Jaipur. I took darshan of Madan Mohan ji in Karoli. You had been to Jaipur ever? Yes. You also went there. You went?
Long time
ago. So there are our Gaudiya deities are there in Karoli, not in Jaipur. Jaipur is called Gupta Vrindavan. It's hidden Vrindavan. And there was, attack of these Muslims on Vrindavan. The deities, they have no fear. Supreme Lord is the protector of everyone. But in order to, give service to the local king, in order to accept his service, in order to give darshan to everyone else in the place of Jaipur, the Lord performed his pastime of going there. Radha, Madan Mohan, Radha Govinda, Gopinath, Vinod, Damodar, and Shyam Sundar. So these deities, they all went to Jaipur. So by their desire, by their mercy, we could get darshan of some of those places. From there I had been to Mumbai. I was there for a few days, 5 days I was there. had some programs all through the day, morning, afternoon, evening. And then I also went to Pune for a day's program. So I came back to Calcutta day before yesterday. I had some work in Calcutta also, Samadhi related. So then I came yesterday by noon. I was here. So it was a very tiring trip, not a pleasure trip, not a, not a resting trip. It was a very tiring trip. But it is very nice that got an opportunity to meet with the devotees and take darshan of the deities. There is some Mahaprasad from Madan Mohanji. So you can take after. If you forget, just remind me after Harikatha. So we are going through Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 13th chapter. Rahugana is advised by Jadabharat. Jadabharat is giving instructions. We heard the example of a forest in which the merchant who is in search of a treasure has entered and seriously looking for pleasures. So it is compared, the merchant here is compared to the living entity, and the forest is compared to this material world. A living entity enters into this material world in order to attain pleasures, in order to become happy. But just like in the forest, there are very dangerous animals, there are caves, there are bushes, there are so many other serpents, etc. Very harmful living entities live in the forest. And even though a merchant has entered into the forest to search for pleasure, he has to face through all these troubles. He has to pass through them, and he has to face various miseries during his journey. In spite of trying so much, he would ultimately be deprived of the actual peace within his heart, or actual pleasure that he is seeking after. We heard the last that in this manner, the living entity who is wandering in the forest of material world for various sense pleasures, he is constantly cheated by others. He is not getting proper exchange for whatever goods he is supplying. Whatever he is expecting, he is not getting that from his fellow living beings. And when there is mutual dispute due to various dealings in this material world, then they try to mitigate these dealings by getting married. This family gets married to that family, or this village person gets married to that village person. In this manner, they try to solve the problems by entering into married life. But after married life also, after marriage also, the life is not very simple, and one has to undergo so many troubles. And on top of it, he will be attacked by the diseases from time to time, and he has to counter all these things. My dear king, in this manner, the living entities are getting connection with newer and newer persons. The parents, mother and father, as long as they are living, they have relationship with them. Once they are gone, then with the children. In this manner, he is spending the time completely in search of bliss. But my dear king, till today, no person was able to attain Hari by following this process. Further, he says that by fighting for the land, oh, this land belongs to me, this land belongs to my son, etc., by fighting for this, constantly there is a friction among the various living entities. They even come to the point of, fighting with others. Means that as long as one is not freed from material desires, as long as one is not freed from the conception of I and mine, the living entity will not be able to attain the supreme welfare. Only those who are sannyasis, those who have given up all the family life, the material search for the material pleasures, and those who are nishkinchanas, those who are free from any mundane, respect or mundane desires, only such persons can attain the Supreme Lord, not others. Even after kind of concluding in this manner, decline kar de na? Even after kind of concluding that a living entity, no matter what he performs by wandering in this material world, he will be deprived from the real wealth, still Jada Bharat continues to further emphasize on this point by continuing the example of the forest explosion, the exploration in the forest. He will continue from verse number 17. तैर्वंचितो हंसकुल हंसकुलं समाविश्यन्नरोचयन् शीलमुपैति वानरान् तज्जातिरासेन सुनिर्वृतेन्द्रियः परम्परो दीक्षण विस्मृतावधि। আবার তাহাদের নিকটেও বঞ্চিত হইয়া সে হংসকুলে প্রবিষ্ট হয়, অর্থাৎ পাষণ্ডগণের আশ্রয়ে সুফল লাভের সম্ভাবনা নাই দেখিয়া সে ব্রাহ্মণকুলে পুনঃ প্রবিষ্ট হয়। So in the previous verse we heard that some living entities, they take shelter of the creepers and the bushes, and by taking shelter of these creepers and bushes, they try to save themselves, and they want to have the vision of hidden, what do you call, secretly they want to see. In the sense, Vishwanath, the meaning of this is that some persons, they want to engage in association with women in ekanta, in solicitation, in solitude. In solitude, some persons want to have association of the women, and by that, by begetting children, he want to hear to the words of the children, the beautiful broken words of the children. So in this manner, the living entity is searching for pleasure. Sometimes, fearing death, the living entity is taking shelter of the pashandis. Pashandis means those who are atheists, those who have no spiritual foundation, non-believers of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. They are compared to the cranes, the vultures, etc. So sometimes, trying to escape from the lion, which is compared to death, they take shelter of the vultures, they take shelter of the cranes, etc., which are compared to pashandis, non-believers in God. Now in this verse, it is told, thus being deceived by even these pashandis, those who are non-believers, he thinks that, oh, if I go there, I will be blissful, I will be happy. But being deceived even by them, the living entity takes shelter of the Hansas. Hansa means swan. Here Hansa is compared to the Brahmanas, means those who believe in God. First they take shelter of those who don't believe in God. When we are in a young age, when everything is all right, then I don't believe in God. But with experience, as we grow old, we get experience. With experience, we see, oh, there is some force beyond our control. That must be God or something which is unknown to us. So they try to take shelter of that. Previously, they don't believe in God. But as they progress, they take shelter of some Hamsas. Hamsas means here they are compared to the Brahmanas. देखिया से ब्राह्मण कुले पुनः प्रविष्ट है. You can also say Brahmanas here also mean some persons so called believers of Supreme Lord. The Brahmanas means those who believe in Brahman or those who have the knowledge of the Brahman. जन्मना जायते शूद्र संस्कारात् द्विजेद भव वेद जनतीति विप्रो Brahma janatiti brahmana. It is said that by birth everyone is a Shudra. Janmana jayate Shudra. By birth everyone is a Shudra. Sanskarat bhaved dvijaha. And by sanskara means by thread ceremony, by proper performance of yajna, etc. By that dvija bhava, he will become a dvija. Dvija means the twice born. The first birth is a Sudra for everyone. Even though one may be born in a Brahminical family, he is considered as Shudra only. But after sanskara, after he is given the, the holy thread ceremony is done, and he is given the mantra, and he is initiated into the Gayatri, etc., then he will be called as Dvija. Veda patati iti vipro. And those who go through the Vedas, those who study the Vedas, they are called Vipras. Brahma janati iti Brahmana. And those who have knowledge of the Brahman, they are called Brahmanas. Here Dvija, Vipra, Brahmana all mean the same, but there are categories. Just after receiving the thread ceremony, one cannot be called as a Brahmana. Brahmana means he should have knowledge of the Brahman. So, here, being deceived by the Pashandis, means the non-believers of God, a living entity takes shelter of the Brahmanas. Kintu, तत्प्रति ताहादेर आचरणव अभिप्सित ना हुआ है, से बानरगणेर निकटे गया, तत् जातीय क्रीडा द्वारा निजेंद्रिय तर्पण करे एवं परस्पर मुखावलोकनादि विषये मुग्ध होइया मरण काल विस्मृत है. But when these, after taking their shelter of these hamsas, the so-called hamsas, still he is, deceived. What kind of deception is it? It's not a deception. He is not able to follow the instructions of the Brahmanas. Oh, you have done this activity, then you have to perform prayaschita, atonement for this kind of an activity. If you want to attain Supreme Lord, then you have to give up onion, you have to give up garlic, you have to give up meat eating, you have to do this, you have to do that. Because if you want to follow religiosity, if you want to follow dharma, then you have to be, regulated by certain rules and regulations. But the living entity, first being, deceived by the Pashandis, they come to the Brahmanas, but at the Brahmanas they are not able to adjust because they cannot lead their life as the Brahmanas are suggesting. Now, a person who has spent his life completely for sense enjoyment, suddenly if he is asked to stop all these things, how can he do so? Therefore, it becomes extremely difficult for a living entity. So now, being not able to follow the instruction of the Brahmanas, This time he takes shelter of the monkeys. Means what it is being told is the living entity is taking shelter of various, paths, ultimately trying to find bliss. And monkeys means other sense enjoyers like him only. They are also sense enjoyers. Oh, it is very difficult to control all these things. If we want to come to Krishna consciousness, then we have to give up so many things. It is better I lead my normal sense enjoyment life. Not to Pashandis, non believers, nor to believers. I shall lead my life like an ordinary human being. Thinking like this, they take shelter of the monkeys, means other sense enjoyers. Monkeys Monkey symbolizes sense enjoyment. And one monkey is seeing the face of another monkey, and in this manner, the time is spent and death is approaching. But they become forgetful of death. Means one sense enjoyer is conversing with another sense enjoyer, one is suggesting sense enjoyment for another sense enjoyer. In this manner, they are constantly in the process of sense enjoyment, they are forgetting that death has come close by. अर्थात तत्प्रति ब्राह्मणोदेर विधि व्यवस्थाओं ताहार मनोमत ना हुआ है से अवशेषे बानरतुल्य भ्रष्टाचार शूद्र प्राय जन समूहेर सहित मिलित है. So, when he sees that the advice of the Brahmanas, the regulations given by the Brahmanas is also difficult to follow, because the devotees say if you want real bliss, then you have to give up these insignificant things. Our most revered Param Gurudev, he used to give an example of the swan and the ducks. One time, a swan was flying in the sky. Paramahamsas, Rajahamsas, the king of all the swans, they are flying in the sky. Very, very bright. And the ducks, they are in a a filthy place where there is a lot of mud, etc. So because they are playing in the mud, they are constantly in the mud, they are dark. So when they saw that the Rajahamsas, they are flying in the sky, they were attracted by the beauty of these Rajahamsas. Oh, they are our cousins. They belong to the same clan. So they are our cousins, and our cousins are so bright and so white in color, and we are, so dark and, stuck in this muddy place. They must be living in a very, very serene and beautiful place because they are white. So thinking like that, they were looking in the sky that will we ever get a chance to go and stay at the place where they are staying. So the Rajahamsas, the swans, they are flying, and one of the swans sees ducks are looking very, very helplessly towards them. All the swans are flying, they went away, but one swan, he landed at the place where these ducks are. They are looking very eagerly, will we get a chance? So when the Rajahamsa, means when the swan landed there, they all mobbed him. Wow, so beautiful, so nice. And they were glaring at him, staring at him. And now they started, gossiping, they started, murmuring among themselves. Oh, do we want to go there? Do you want to go there? Do you want to go there? And Rajahamsa hears this. Yes, I have come to take you there. I saw your, helpless faces, that you are looking for some help from somebody, therefore I landed here. They became very jubilant. Wow, very nice. Where do you stay? Oh, we stay in, Mansarovar. Oh, that place must be beautiful. Yes, it's very beautiful, very serene. Oh, can you take us there? Yes. That is the purpose I landed here. They all became very happy. Oh, yes, he is going to take us there. But then they had a problem. They said that we cannot fly like you. That must be very far off place. We cannot fly. We can fly some distance, but not so far. Don't worry. I shall take you on my back. I shall make you sit on my back and I shall carry you there. And very happy, very nice. We shall go on their back, and to that place we shall also become very bright and white like these persons. So are you ready to go? They said, let us, we want to discuss who will go first, what will happen. They will discuss. So they had a meeting, round table conference, Guru Maharaj used to say, at a round table conference, what to do. Then then they thought, oh, we have to ask whether what they eat there. So they asked, what do you eat there? Oh, we eat the stem of the lotus flower. Oh, you don't eat insects? You don't eat worms? The other things? We eat all those things. No, 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 no. Very filthy things. We don't get those things there. We get the stem, the buds of lotus flower. We eat that, very tasty. Then all the ducks together shrieked in one voice, oh, we shall not go, we shall not go. If we go there, we will die. What will we eat there? Because these ducks have got attachment to filthy things, they could not go to the topmost place or the place where it is serene and supreme. In a similar manner, Param Gurudev would say that because of our attachment to the material things are filthy. If we go to Supreme Lord, will I get this, material pleasures? Will I get a beautiful wife? Will I get happiness or not? This material happiness or not? So because of our attachment to material things, do we get pizza or not? In Golok Dham, if we don't get pizza, we cannot go there. Because, I like pizza so much, so how can I go if pizza is not available in Golok Dham? So because of our attachment to menial things, a living entity is not able to go to the Supreme Lord. That is why tato dussangam utsritya satsa sajjeta buddhiman. Therefore, one has to give up bad association. As long as one is in bad association, one duck wants to go, other ducks have spoiled him also. Because dussangam, bad association. Immediately one has to give up dussanga, bad association. Satsa sajjeta buddhiman, one has to come in contact with sadhus. Santa evasya chindanti manovyasanga mukti, with the sadhus. By their powerful speech, by their speech of logic, they cut the knots of all the conditioned, knots in the heart of all the conditioned souls. Therefore, one has to come in contact with the sadhus. So here, the thing is, the living entity is taking shelter of the non-believers. He is deceived there. He comes to the Brahmanas. He sees that he is not able to adjust to the rules and regulations set by these Brahmanas. And therefore, he gives their company and comes back to the association of the monkeys, the other sense enjoyers. These are Brashtachara Shudra Pray. These are Shudras, means monkeys are compared to the Shudras. Shudras means the fallen persons, Brashtachar, those who are addicted to performing menial activities, the fallen activities. They come to the shelter or to the company of these monkey-like persons. Evang tahader mato বিষয় ব্যবহারে ব্যাপৃত থাকিয়াই সুখানুভব করে ও মৃত্যুর কথা ভুলিয়ে যায়. And in their dealings with these materialistic persons, the sense enjoyers, they are killing their time constantly and they become forgetful of their death. When death is coming, or the death may come any time, they become forgetful of this. Shri Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes in the commentary, पाषंड गणेर द्वारा प्रवंचित हइया सेखाने कोनो सुफल लाभेर संभावना नाय बुझिया. So being deceived by the Pashandis, the non-believers, by understanding that there is no possibility of any, good fruit if I am in the company of these persons, Hansatulya Saumya Brahmana Ganer Kule Pravesh Kore. He comes in the company of the Brahmanas who are compared to the swans. He gives us the company of the vultures, the cranes, etc. And he comes to the company of the swans, means the Brahmanas. किंतु ताहादेर शीलम आचरण व्यवस्था अर्थात प्रायश्चित पूर्वक पुनराय उपनयन आदि आचरण सकले अरोचयन निजेर मनोमत ना हवाए. So when he comes in the company of the Brahmanas, they will say, oh, you associated with the non-believers. You had eaten all those non-eatable things. Therefore, you have to undergo prayaschitta, you have to undergo an atonement. And you have to again receive the thread ceremony. You have to be again initiated into dharma. A person who has, who started performing irreligious activities, when he has to brought back to the religious activity, he has to be performed sanskara. Even sometimes the devotees, they take Harinam and Diksha, but due to the influence of bad association, sometimes they slowly start giving up, chanting the holy name. Slowly they give up the holy name, and then again they come to the previous way of living. They start eating meat, they start eating all these non-eatable things. What happens by that is, once all religious things are finished and he comes back to irreligiosity, again, if ever he wants to come back to the spirituality, the Guru will again perform sanskaras to him. Again, the sanskaras are to, not that again another holy name is to be given, another bead bag is to be given. The same month bead bag he can chant, but before that sanskaras are to be performed. Means he needs to be purified again from all the bad activities that he has done. Because at the time of Diksha, the person has been purified from all bad activities. Diksha kale shishya kore atma samarpan. At that time, Guru frees the living entity from all the sinful activities and, makes him, Chidanandamaya Deha, that body is converted to Sat Chidanandamaya. Now again a person goes back to the irreligious way of living, then he has to be again purified by this process. So, but by seeing this kind of practices that the Brahmanas are suggesting, Nijer manamat na hoy, no, it's very difficult to again undergo all this process, to perform atonement, to perform this kind of an activity, that kind of an activity, very difficult. By seeing this, it's not possible. वानरतुल्य भ्रष्टाचारी शूद्र प्राय लिंगी देर जीविकार्थो जटादि धारी धर्मध्वज गणेर निकट उपनीत है. And they come to the shelter of the Vanaras, means the monkeys. The monkeys are, they are compared with those living entities who are deceitful or the bogus religious leaders. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur in his purport, in the main verse it is told that other sense enjoyers, the monkeys are compared to the other sense enjoyers. So in the purport Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is telling that other sense enjoyers only, but those who have taken the bogus sadhu form of a sadhu. Those are bogus sadhus, pseudo sadhus or false sadhus. Dharmadhvajigan, and they consider themselves as religious leaders. They call themselves as religious leaders, but they are sense enjoyers in the name of religious leaders. So, by giving up proper, bona fide, authentic sadhus, because they are telling too many things, so you have to give up this, you have to give up this, you have to undergo atonement, you have to do this practice, I cannot do all these things. Let us go back to a bogus sadhu who will give a shortcut thing. No problem, you give me 10,000 rupees, all your sins are finished. You give me 1 lakh rupees, your sins of the previous birth are also finished. So in this manner, they take shelter of these bogus sadhus who call themselves as the religious leaders, and সেই জাতিতে ভোজন পান ও স্ত্রী সঙ্গাদির স্বাচ্ছন্দ্য বশতঃ, and in their association he will be marrying various food items. They can eat anything, they can drink anything, they can associate unrestrictedly with women. So all these facilities are there available with these bogus sadhus. So they take shelter to this kind of people, and they eat all kind of non-edible things. They drink intoxicants. They associate with women without any restriction. Paraspara mukhavalokner dwara, and in this manner they spend their time uselessly seeing to others, seeing to one's own sense gratification and seeing others enjoying their sense organs. তৃপ্ত হইয়া মৃত্যুকালের কথা ভুলিয়া যায়. In this manner, he spends the time becoming forgetful of the death, that the death is imminent and the death is approaching any time. The living entities will become forgetful of this. So in this forest of material existence, the living entity is taking shelter of so many unwanted things, unwanted persons, and is ultimately being deceived at every step. Okay, we will stop here and then continue tomorrow. वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गांधर्विका गिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय. जय परमाराधितम पतित पावन श्रोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोस्वामी श्री गुरु महाराज की जय. नित्य लीला प्रविष्ट होम विष्णुपाद परमहंस स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद भक्ति दयित माधव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय. जगत गुरु श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की जय. श्री श्री रूपानुग गुरु वर्ग की जय. श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्ट दास रघुनाथ षड गोस्वामी प्रभु की जय. श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. जय सपरिकर श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्री श्री राधा गोविंद श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ जीव की जय. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. श्री कृष्ण द्वैपायन वेदव्यास महामुनि की जय. जय श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी एवं परीक्षित महाराज की जय. श्री जड़ भरत की जय. श्री रघुगण राजा की जय. श्रीमद् भागवत श्रवणकारी भक्तवृंद की जय. जय श्री चातुर्मास व्रत पालनकारी भक्तवृंद की जय. श्री हरिनाम प्रभु की जय. श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय. निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.